So here are some things. Hello and welcome one and all to the Some Things podcast. My name is Dylan and I'm here with my co-host,
Mr. Luke Byther.
Hey, how you doing tonight, Luke?
I'm doing okay. What about you, Dylan?
I'm tired, but again, I'm here and I'm ready.
Well, the good thing is you don't look tired.
That's good. I'm glad nobody else can see me, though.
Yeah. One of the things I might be a little bit tired about, though, is the stupid Area 51 Facebook thing that's going on.
So how much credibility do you think this is actually going to happen?
Like zero. First of all the people who are going, I think probably 1% maybe would even know where to go to find Area 51. And of that 1%, there's probably like zero of them who are actually gonna go.
Well, see, again, it's so crazy to think that like some guy just made this post, started to say, I think they in the location of the group, they want to like meet up at a cafe somewhere that's near Area 51.
Really? I didn't even look at that.
Yeah, again, because I've been like reading around about it, and it's just like they want to meet up at this location, get everyone together, and then say, all right, guys, now we're ready to go, tackle this base. And they,
yeah,
like again, as much as I think that it'd be fun to discover any kind of mysterious things that could be in Area 51, I don't think this is how we're going to get the job done.
I don't know, but like, what do they expect to find? They're expecting to find aliens.
Right.
Here's my thing. What if, hear me out, what if it's not aliens that are in Area 51? What if the Muppets were real? It wasn't Jim Henson. Jim Henson was the owner. He was the keeper. What if the Muppets are sitting around and we're going to knock on that door and they're going to be like...
So you're gonna walk into the hangar and you're gonna see Gonzo and Animal just playing a poker game or something.
Yeah, they're gonna like give us like a dirty look and be like, "Get the heck out of here."
Okay, so your theory about Area 51 is Muppets. Again, as much as I would like to think that there are aliens, which I'm not necessarily knocking the idea, I don't think it's Area 51 because, again, if you're going to televise or, broadcast, you're going to meet up to raid Area 51 for the aliens. They probably moved them already. You're going to find an empty hangar and just nothing.
That's true. I heard somebody say, yeah, they probably moved it to Area 52 by now.
And where's that located at?
I don't know. Nobody knows. That's the thing.
Nobody does their research enough for these things. But, in light of that, what kind of conspiracy theories do you believe in aside from Area 51 and aliens? Because we know that one to be true.
Do I believe in any conspiracy theories beyond the Muppets? I don't think I do.
No, nothing.
Nothing. What about you? Maybe you saying one will spark my memory.
I don't see. My thing is I have like these weird ones. Like I don't know what the reasoning would be, but I believe conspiracy theories could involve like actors and celebrities with like some of these like deaths that kind of come out of nowhere. Like, I don't know, it just seems odd to me at times. Like, I know some of them is like, okay, maybe like, okay, they were getting old, they had cancer, it was their time. But I mean, again, I know it sounds weird, but I don't know, that's just me.
So you're looking for like Elvis and Michael Jackson? Possibly.
I don't know if necessarily Elvis. I mean, he's got to be dead by now. I mean, the dude's got to be pushing what?
Even if Elvis was alive, he's dead.
Even if it was, he's dead. But I don't know. Again, I think there could be some things out there that we aren't necessarily privy to, or if that's the right word I'm looking for here. But yeah,
Yeah. One of these days we'll have to do a talk about the flat Earth conspiracy. Conspiracy theory? Yes. I forgot how to say conspiracy.
Well, as long as they start teaching in the curriculum and get the kids educated on what's really going on out there, then the flat Earth thing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, other than that, I thought it would be kind of fun. I know I've probably told you this story several times, or at least once or twice, but in order for the audience to get to know me more and who I am as a person, I'd like to bring up bathroom stories as a topic. And
bathroom stories,
because I know we've had several together.
There's not enough time.
No, it'll be plenty of time. All right, we got all the time in the world right now.
We can talk all night about bathroom stories.
But I namely want to talk about 3. At least I think it's 3. It may be 2, but I'll start off with the first one where I gave myself a back hickey.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so again, you're new to this podcast. I'm new to this podcast.
We're
But
both new to this podcast.
we're all new to this podcast.
Oh, wait, hold on. Before we go any farther, we forgot to welcome John. Everybody say hello to John. Thank you for you listening at home. He's very happy to hear from you guys.
Yeah, John is excited. He's just sitting here. He's waiting for his time to get in, but he's a little shy. So maybe we'll welcome in one of the next 2 weeks. So we'll see him here.
And John, did you want to say? Okay, let's just cut. He's not available.
He's waving us off.
He's got peanut butter in his mouth. He can't talk.
Yeah, he's too busy chewing. You don't want to hear that smacking sound. We're not in ASMR here. But
anyway, back to back hickeys.
Back to back hickeys. All right, back to back. Anyway, so. Here I am one time, right? I'm at my parents' house, and I was, some people don't like taking baths, but, occasionally after a long day, either working out, you worked hard, you're tired, you want to relax, I don't get the candles, I don't go full blown, but, I'll get some music and, get some nice hot water, maybe a bubble bath. But regardless, as I'm laying down in the tub, right, I'm starting to fill up the tub with water, and as I'm pushing my back down against the tub, it kind of hears like this suction sound, like this, like you can hear all the air escaping, right?
What could it have been?
Well, it was the air escaping. Oh. But so anyway, as I go to then lift my body off the bottom of the tub, I hear and these farting noises, right? And so me being a childish grown man, I start doing this repeatedly to myself, and I just hear repeatedly. And I was having a blast with it. I came over to your guys' house. I talked to...
Who wouldn't have a blast with that?
Yeah, exactly, And so I come over to hang out with you guys at your house, and I remember walking to the bathroom, and I don't know if my shirt didn't quite get tucked in or whatever it was, but my shirt showed my lower back, and somebody was like, "Dylan, do you have a rash?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about, rash?" And I go into the bathroom and realize that the same way if you were to have like a cup against your mouth when you're doing like a super suction and it gets purple or it turns bruised, I bruised my entire back and it was like green purple. And I was sitting there thinking for the longest time, maybe I do have a rash. I don't know what's going on. And then it hit me up like, oh, the tub. Yeah. And I then have to go on and explain that to everyone else who's then seen said rash and tell them, no, I'm not contagious. I just had fun in the bath.
And let's, with that story, I don't know, you may have noticed, we have LG Life's Good music to thank for that background. Which I thought was rather appropriate for your tub story.
Life is good. Life is always good.
Oh my goodness. Well, okay, I'll see your bathroom story and I'll raise you one.
Oh boy.
I believe in a strict amount of bathroom etiquette.
Right. So what would you define as etiquette in the bathroom?
Yeah, bathroom etiquette. So at least for guys, I don't know how it is for girls, but for guys, when you walk in, it doesn't matter if you're having a conversation, you stop. Once you cross the threshold of the door, the conversation is paused until you get out. You don't even look at each other.
And the other threshold being your fly coming open.
Yes. It shouldn't matter, though, because the talking should be stopped. By the way, if you're still talking after you cross the threshold of the door, yes, the threshold of the zipper is the final threshold. Okay?
Just so the listeners are clear.
So please, don't talk in the bathroom. Nobody wants it. It's rude. It's improper bathroom etiquette.
Right.
But anyway, I believe in that. I believe that you shouldn't be making very much eye contact. It's just go in, do your business, and get out. So anyway, I was in New Mexico at a Bible ranch. And they're a very friendly group of people there.
Okay.
And it's very nice to be around such a welcoming group of people. But anyway, I go into the bathroom and I'm sitting down in a stall doing my business. Perfect bathroom etiquette. I didn't talk to anybody, didn't look. I just went in there, sat down on the toilet, got going. My plan was just to walk out and leave once I was done.
As everyone's would be.
Yeah. Thank you, Dylan. You're reasonable.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm sitting there and somebody else comes and sits in the stall right next to me, which, by the way, always leave a space stall so that you're not next to somebody when possible.
Mm-hmm.
They broke that rule. They sat right next to me for no reason.
Oh, boy.
And as we're sitting there doing our business still, he reaches under. He's like, "Hey, man, how's it going? Who I got over there?" I'm like...
Please tell me it was just his hand, not his head.
It was his hand,
okay.
Yeah. It was his hand. And this is all like... It was a pretty quick thing, but it felt like 1,000 years for me. So he's like, "Who do I got over here next to me?" I'm like, it's Luke. he's like, well, hey, Luke. And I don't remember who it was, but we'll go with John, since John is so quiet.
Yeah, John will get the credit for this one.
He's like, hey, yeah, it's John. Good to meet you, man. And he's like reaching under trying to shake my hand.
Oh,
And I'm just staring at his hand. I'm like, ugh.
that's horrifying.
Yeah. It was one of the worst experiences I've ever had in a bathroom. Thankfully, I don't have much to work with here, but
gosh.
it was awkward. I just stared at his hand, and then after what felt like 30 seconds, he pulled his hand under, and he was like, "Oh no, I'm just kidding, man." And I'm like, "It doesn't matter that you were just kidding. You did it. You crossed the line. It doesn't matter if you cross the line and say just kidding. You still did it."
Right. It was.
I was quick, man. I wrapped the toilet paper around my fist. I was done in a jiffy.
See, you should have handed him that toilet paper after you used it. Just get him back. It's like, don't do that ever again. Teach him a lesson.
Oh boy. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that's just what I would have done. I'm pretty gross.
That's true. You are pretty gross.
I am pretty gross. Yeah, so I have a couple stall stories as well, aside from the back kicky in the bathtub, which again was still pretty fun. But anyway, there was one time I was in elementary school, and this one, it wasn't as fun. I don't get to walk away laughing from it as much. Again, I'm a kid in elementary school, but one of those few times where it's like you dread using a public bathroom. You don't want to get in the stall, and you're just like, okay, some stuff's coming. I can't. What
was it? At least a nice bathroom, or was it like one of those public restrooms?
It was decent enough. Again, it was on the campus. It was again the restroom was clean. It wasn't like good. Messy. It wasn't like people throwing wads of toilet paper up the ceiling, anything like that. It was decent enough. But so I'm like, okay, I'm alone. There was the one stall in the boys' restroom, so I go in there. Again, I'm pretty peaceful, doing my business.
Of course.
Out of nowhere, I hear two other kids come into the bathroom, and I figure, okay, they're decent human beings. All they're trying to do is go use the urinal.
That's what I would have thought.
Yeah, you would think. No, what do these two kids do? They decide to, one kid hopped the other kid on his shoulders, put his feet there, and then that other said kid peeked over the stall and looked at me while I'm doing my business.
That's horrible.
And he just started laughing. I don't know what but I was kind of mortified.
Yeah, I would have been too.
Again, it's one thing for the hand to come under the door, but I'm just like, this kid's staring at me in my business. I don't know what to do here.
Well, were they quick about it at least, or did they jump over and then?
He didn't jump over, thankfully, but he did linger for at least a few seconds and just they got awkward, just sat there for eternity, what it seemed like, and I was mortified. Who's as a kid, who thinks to do that? Like, I'm gonna go peek over the stall and see what someone else does in there.
Yeah, that's like something you're supposed to avoid. Again, the eye contact is what I'm all against.
And that happened.
Have you ever had those times where you're especially when you're the one sitting in the stall and there's that crack in between the door and the rest of the stall, and you're looking out, and then somebody walks in and looks right at you?
That's the stare of death, man.
Oh man. And it's almost just as bad when you're the one on the outside looking in.
Yeah, because you're not intentionally, because occasionally you're just walking by, you're just trying to check, maybe no one's in this stall, and then you kind of feel the door, and then you're like, oh crud, I just looked through.
Yeah, it's so bad that sometimes I feel like writing a note on like the napkins that are in there and just being like, sorry, tape it to the stall door and hope they find it when they get out.
Right. Yeah. All right. So my last story before we move on from toilet talk is actually one that involves us here at this table.
You and me.
Yeah, me and you.
And John?
Was John there? I don't know.
John, were you there?
Actually,
no,
yeah, John.
Okay.
I do. Well, you know what? Now that you mentioned John, though, I do have two more stories. So I'll tell.
Oh my goodness.
So it'll okay. I'm sorry, folks. It'll be two stories total. One involving me and Luke, and one involving me and John. Maybe at some point he can tell his side of the story, but he's not here. He doesn't want to talk to us right now, so we'll just let that slide.
He's still eating peanut butter. It's crazy. He's probably had half a jar by now.
I know. It's like you almost think that's too much protein for somebody, but he's taking it like a champ.
Put it down.
But so anyway, me and Luke, we attend the same church, and so I go into the bathroom, and there's a stall that I go into in particular, and so I go to sit down there.
Which one is it?
It's the one that's second closest to the actual wall when you kind of wrap around the corner. I know it's kind of hard.
All the way on the left.
All the way on the left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a little hard for the viewers to kind of picture it. But anyway, that's the stall I use.
It's almost in the corner.
Almost in the corner. And so I go in there, same thing. I'm doing my business. At this point, I'm no longer a child. I am a grown man at this point. So just to clarify this time frame here of my toilet troubles, I go into the stall, and I'm doing my business. And as I notice, I kind of peek underneath, and I see Luke's shoes walk by, and so I'm like, "Oh, this will be kind of funny." Like I'm in here, Luke's in here, and we'll have this funny moment. And I kind of took after one of my other influencers. Let's call him Olin Rogers because he's pretty funny. I don't know if you've heard of him. But so anyway, I took after him, and I decided to slam my hands against the stall walls and scream out like it was bloody murder pretty much. And so I just,
you can imagine how terrifying that would be. I, however, was not.
Yeah, so I thought I would get him. I thought it would be funny. And so he's at the urinal, but so I scream.
No. I was in the stall right next to
you. You were in the stall next to me.
Yeah,
okay, so I thought...
Listeners, please, I apologize. I messed up. I didn't know Dylan was in that stall over there.
Oh, yeah, so his bathroom
I did
etiquette.
park it right next to him.
He broke his own rules.
It was unintelligent, and I was sorry.
But there's forgiveness for that. It's okay.
But you broke the rules to a new degree, so...
Yeah, so anyway, I scream, and I like I said, I let out bloody murder, and then I don't even know if Luke laughed at that point.
I almost did. I did one of those laughs where you like open your mouth super wide and you cover it and you're like, and no sound comes out, of course.
But so here's the kicker, folks. Unbeknownst to either of us, at least myself,
I knew.
Apparently one of the other members of our church, an elderly man,
white fluffy hair,
walked into the bathroom, and he was at the urinal. And so as I'm sitting there trying to have a fun moment with my friend Luke here, who sat at the stall next to me, this guy must have just shook himself silly and then looks over his shoulder, or at least I imagine he did, because I can't quite see through a bathroom door. But he just looks over and without a beat just screams, "Are you okay in there?"
Yeah, no, it wasn't even a scream. It was pretty calm.
Not a scream,
that was
but
the best part about this whole thing. You scared neither of us.
Yeah.
He was just like surprised and sort of concerned. Like, I don't know what he imagined was happening.
I don't know, but at this point, it's like, how do you ask that? How do you bridge the gap between I screamed in a stall door and you just happen to be there to hear me? What do you do?
Oh my goodness. I don't know what I would have done. If I were in his situation, I probably would have just held the rest until the end and washed my hands at like a drinking fountain.
I'm done with this. Yeah, I'm done with this bathroom. I'm no longer coming here. but yeah, so there was all that going on. And final story. And again, John, are you? No, he's still busy. Okay, so he'll have to tell his side at some point. But anyway, I go into this said stall again, right? Doing my business, and I'm sitting there. And I'm sitting there, and I hear the door open. I'm like, okay, someone else is coming in to do their business. And I feel someone go to my same stall. Again, there's plenty of other ones open, but they still come to me. And I start hearing the door start to budge, like someone's trying to force it open, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, they'll have to know. They'll have to know that, again, the stall's occupied, the door's not budging, whatever. Like, they'll figure the situation out, right?
Right.
Most people do.
Oh,
No.
I know this one.
Instead, John, like a madman, tries kicking open the door like several times, at least 3, I want to say. And after the 3rd time, he finally walks away, and I have to tell him, like, yeah, this one's occupied. What are you doing?
She's not even laughing right now.
I know. He's so mortified by his own mistake. But again, it's just, I don't know what bathroom etiquette he lives by, but it was just, I don't know, man. He was coming in for me.
Maybe he actually works for the FBI. Do you, John?
Maybe that was it.
That stoic silence of his.
It's one of those plead the fifth, no comment moments. He knows what he's doing.
Right, yeah.
So, after our crappy discussions here.
Believe it or not, that was only an introduction. We just got carried away with bathroom
We
stories.
really did, folks. But
if
again,
you ever find us in real life, there's plenty more where this came from.
And again, we want you guys to feel welcome, like you're a part of the group. We want you to know who we are as people, and we're crappy people at that. But so I think it's now a good time for us to segue into talking about movies. You know me, Luke. I'm just a movie buff. I have the AMC Movie Pass, which I will plug that shamelessly because it's an awesome deal.
You're more than a movie buff. You're a movie bodybuilder.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. But again, folks, I can't tell you. I like going to movies as a kid, so at this point, I just love going there, whatever kind of genre it is, action, comedy. I'll even go see rom-coms or even romance movies. People, I have no shame saying that. But again, if it interests me, I'll go see it. And so one of the things I'm happy to talk about and announce here on this podcast is that Endgame finally passed Avengers. No, not Avengers. Avatar. My apologies.
Should I scream again?
Scream
they got
again.
the point.
They got the point. I'm sorry.
Do it again. It's a good thing.
Woohoo! Yes, I am so happy that Avengers got that title because, look, folks, I love James Cameron. He's directed great movies, but I don't know how Avatar managed to hold that spot for so long. I thought other movies would have dethroned it, but I'm happy something finally did. That's all I have to say.
Let's break it down, because I can give a decent explanation of how Avatar was able to hold its spot for so long.
Right.
One of the cool things about it is, like Star Wars back in the 70s, Avatar came out and was visually spectacular.
Oh, yes, no doubt about that.
This was back when CGI was relatively hit or miss still. You know, some movies were good, others you were like, oh my goodness, what the heck happened? This one was spot on. This was like, even today, it looks just as good as the top movies. It looks just as good as Avengers, you could say. But one of the other things they did was right at the height of everybody's interest in 3D.
Yep.
Avatar comes out in 3D.
Yep.
And my goodness, they made the movie with this plan in mind.
Yeah, exactly. Which I do appreciate because, again, some movies they'll say, oh, you can see it in 3D when there's like maybe 5 effects throughout the whole thing. But Avatar, again, credit to where credit is due, they made a visually stunning movie that was perfect for 3D.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. I remember there being news reports of people going in there watching the movie and throwing up because of motion sickness. It was so realistic and spectacular. It was so immersive. So people would just go back over and over and over again to get that experience.
Like I did with Endgame.
Yeah. And on top of that, like Endgame did, they re-released it a few times. And that's why Avatar was able to hold its spot. Here's what I don't get. Avatar was the highest grossing of all time when you don't factor in inflation.
Right.
And this is the same for Endgame when you don't factor in inflation. Do you have any idea what it is when you do factor in inflation?
I have no idea, but I have a feeling you're going to tell me.
Yeah. It's Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind?
So yeah, I don't even know. Look it up maybe while I'm talking about this. But Gone with the Wind.
Well, frankly, Luke, I just don't give a dang.
That was pretty good.
I know. Thank you.
But anyway, yeah, I don't know what the deal was with Gone with the Wind. I saw it a long time ago. I don't remember too much about it, but it's crazy because there was nothing special about it. I wouldn't have thought there was nothing groundbreaking about it. It was a romantic drama in a time of romantic dramas. It was
Gone with the Wind does still hold that spot.
And what was the amount at the time? That's what I want to wonder, because I think it was like nothing compared to what movies make now.
Let's see, Gone with the Wind. Let's see, grand total of looks like $1,822,598,200.
Really?
Kind of convenient that it ended on the even number there.
That's actually way more than I thought. I thought it was I thought it was like 500 million maybe. But I guess inflation hasn't been quite as dramatic as I thought. But either way, I don't understand what it is about Gone with the Wind that kept pulling people back for more and more and more.
Right.
Maybe it was just the line at the end.
Yep. You know, again, people did give some dangs at that one.
Yeah. All the dangs.
All of them. But yeah, so again, I like I said, I love both movies. Again, maybe the storyline of Avatar, don't get me wrong, it wasn't the best. But again, Endgame, again, congratulations, credit to where credit is due. Marvel, looking forward to Phase 4. Or was it Phase 4?
Yeah, Phase 4.
Phase 4. Okay, I did get that correct.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for what the future is going to hold in that. The other thing that I think you want to talk about, Luke, is Star Wars, and not only the upcoming film, but what happened in the last movie.
Yeah. Okay. So let me get this. First of all, I'm very excited for the next Star Wars movie. It's like every time December rolls along, I start getting ready for Star Wars, even though it's only been every other December at this point. But still, 2015, 2017, 2019, December comes along, I'm all Star Wars'd out. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Having said that, The Last Jedi was supremely disappointing.
Oh boy.
It let me down badly. I think The Force Awakens gets a lot of flack.
Right, for being almost like a copycat is what I hear a lot.
Yeah, people called it a copycat of Episode 4, and that's kind of true, but so was Episode 6, and nobody had a problem with that.
Huh?
Episode 6 was all about destroying the Death Star as well. Anyway, I think The Force Awakens did a pretty good job of just setting some things up. It was a nice little softball of a movie.
Right.
They set up these brand new characters. So you've got Rey on the light side.
And Kylo Ren
on the dark side. Both young and inexperienced and ready to grow. That was what I was most excited about.
Oh, yeah.
How cool is that going to be? In the original trilogy, we see Luke Skywalker growing so that he can finally one day match Darth Vader. Mm-hmm. And Darth Vader was a relatively stagnant character until the end.
Right.
But now we've got Rey and Kylo Ren. And I'm thinking, that's going to be awesome. It's just going to get better and better and better.
Right, you'll see two characters develop.
Yeah, two characters develop. The skill is going to increase every time. So that was exciting. We got a little bit of that in the Last Jedi.
But we got to see what Kylo Ren's chesticles. That was pretty
nice.
That's
true. He did bulk up a little bit. It seems. I don't know. Maybe it was just the fact that his shirt was off and we noticed it. But I know you stopped seeing for like 10 minutes after that, right?
Yeah, I was blinded by the light. It was just so beautiful to see that man's pecs.
Yeah, Ben Swolo is what they called him.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay, so that wasn't the worst thing in the world. Here's the thing that was like a slap in the face to all of us fans.
Right.
At the end of The Force Awakens, we finally get to see Luke Skywalker. Rey holds out the lightsaber to him, and he's looking at it, and then it cuts off. That's the end of the movie.
Right.
So we waited 2 years to see Luke Skywalker back in action, to see what he would do with that lightsaber. The movie starts. We see him looking up. This is like literally 10 seconds after The Force Awakens ended. Mm-hmm. Picks up right after. So we're ready to see it. He takes the lightsaber and tosses it over his back. And it's like he tossed over his back all of our expectations for what a good movie would be.
Oh my goodness.
I couldn't believe they did that. I smiled the first time I saw it because I was like, that's kind of funny. The more I watched it, the more I was like...
It just made you hurt?
Yeah, it just made me hurt. Especially with the rest of the movie. We never got that satisfying Luke Skywalker moment. Ever. He never fought anybody with a lightsaber. Even that scene in the end, he's not really there. He never makes contact with Kylo Ren.
Right, that's true.
It could have been such a good fight, and I wish he died in the end anyway. They should have sent him out there to get in a lightsaber duel with Kylo Ren and just simply lose.
Right.
It would have been enough of a distraction for everybody to escape.
That's no discredit to Luke Skywalker, people. We love Luke.
Yeah, he's just old.
Yeah, he's old.
I mean, it would have been similar to what Ben Kenobi did in the original.
Right, yeah, when he fought Vader.
But that's the biggest thing that tore me up. But there's other questions like, who is Snoke? Doesn't matter. He's dead. Who are Rey's parents? They're nobody's. Move on. It's like every single movie that...
But what does yak milk
his
taste
name?
like? That's the other thing we got to cover here. What does that milk taste like that came out of that udder that he just was so gung-ho to just wipe it straight from his mouth?
Why was he so sloppy with it?
Do you think after all that time training on that island, you would have better skills for doing that?
Yeah, but it was awkward. Every single question that J.J. Abrams set up, Rian Johnson was like, that's a stupid question. He answered a different question instead. Mm-hmm. It's like every time there was an opportunity to throw off your expectations, that was his entire goal.
Right.
So when that's all you do, it just gets tiring and it becomes a waste of a movie. And now we got to finish out this series and
this is supposed to be like the end of it from what I hear.
Yeah,
and then they're going to reboot like a different separate franchise that'll be separate from like Skywalker and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is the end of the Skywalker story, the Skywalker saga they call it. But yeah, almost no time has passed. The entire Force Awakens movie happens over like a week, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it was on one tank of fuel for their ship.
That's true.
They were running out of fuel the entire time. So how far could they have gotten? A week is generous. Let's be real. You look at the original movies, though, it's possible that between 4 and 5, let's go all the way back to the first one. Between 1 and 2, we know there's 10 years. Okay. Anakin went from 8 to 18.
That's true.
Between 2 or 3, it's quite possible it could have been another 10 years. Mm-hmm. Somewhere between 5 and 10 years went by for Anakin to mature and grow. That's a lot of character development right there. That was awesome. We see the same thing in 4. Going from 3 to 4, lots of time has passed. Almost 20 years. Luke is still a teenager, so he's between 16 and 18.
Yes.
From there to the next movie, it could have been another 10 years. It could have been. We don't know how long it was, but it was enough for him to be well into his 20s.
Right.
And then between the 5th movie and the 6th movie, maybe another 10. all of this could have happened within 10 years. Darth Vader could probably have been between 60 and 70 when he died in episode 6. That's a lot of character development over decades. This one, however, this series, we got a lot of time between 6 and 7. That's good. Between 7 and 8, literally 30 seconds.
Huh?
And this next one, looking at the trailers, it doesn't look like too much time has passed still.
Right.
But what can you do? You can't just... They set a precedent with the first one from 7 to 8.
Okay.
Such a small time gap, they couldn't throw in a huge time gap now. It just wouldn't flow right.
Right.
So, unfortunately, we're stuck in this awkward situation where I just have to acknowledge that there's no way this trilogy is going to be as good as the other two.
Yeah. Yeah, again, it's like, because I know I definitely fall into camp, again, I didn't care too much for The Force Awakens, like I said, because I do fall into the camp of like the whole copycat movie. It felt just too similar. But here's my issue, and why I got to play a little bit of devil's advocate on this, is when we came to The Last Skywalker, or that was one, right?
The Last Skywalker? No, this next one is going to be Rise of Skywalker.
Right, but then The Last Jedi. That's sorry, folks. I know I said I love movies, and then watch me get the titles wrong. But anyway, again with The Last Jedi, my people complained, myself included, not that I necessarily signed a petition to, boycott the movie or anything, the franchise, but people complained so much that number 7 was so much like number 4, and that it was just a copycat. It was just, a new skin on the same old story. They complained so much about it that, okay, the director was then left with, all right, we want to make something different and unique.
Yeah.
And so therefore he had to take what was given to him and what, essentially give a little bit of fan service, because all the fans were saying, hey, I don't like this storyline, or I don't like this, I don't like the way that the last one was portrayed. So give us something different. Give me something new. He did that. I guess he got too carried away.
He took it 30 steps too far.
He took it 30 light years away is what happened.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, you would run out of your fuel trying to get to where Rian Johnson was.
Exactly. And folks, if you're still listening to this point and, we didn't give a spoiler alert, I don't think we have to at this point. This movie's been out for years, or at least a while. So if you haven't seen the last movie, sorry, but again, not sorry.
By the way, key phrase of the day.
Key phrase.
Let's be real. The people listening to this are probably those who know us directly. So key phrase, if you've made it this far, walk up to us and randomly say, here's the yogurt.
The yogurt.
Here's the yogurt. Oh, and that's how we'll know that you're real fans of Some Things Podcast.
Well, they'd have to still. Well, I mean, I guess, like you said, if they'd have to know us already. But yeah, the new fans, who knows who's out there?
Yeah. Hey, if you're listening to this on like Spotify or SoundCloud, where are we putting this?
I don't know. I think we're gonna try. We'll try Spotify. We'll see if iTunes might want to pick us up. But who knows?
If you're listening,
if we
can
get some sponsors.
If you're listening to this on your mobile device and you don't know who we are, we live at. No, I'm not going to tell you that. But feel free to send us. We don't have anything. We need.
Yeah, again, this is a startup, man. We'll still have to get emails up. We again, like we said earlier in the episode, folks, this is our very first episode. Or if I didn't specifically mention that, it is our very first episode.
We should get an email.
We will get something. Let's see who's. We should throw out John's email.
Hey, we should do like an Instagram, maybe.
Yeah, we can do a lot of things.
Then you guys will know what we look like.
We'll be crossing those bridges when we get to them. But again, we will hopefully in the future we'll have an account open for you guys to send us a link, send us a message, just say, hey, you guys suck. No, but again, we'll be here. We'll try to do what we can once we get that updated and up and running, and we'll let you guys know when that's available. Again, you can send in your comments, send in your reviews. Again, we'll take everything. We'll take open criticism. We'll take compliments. But yeah,
we probably won't respond to the criticism. So if you want to hear from us, be nice.
Yes, that's a good way to get on the podcast. But who knows? But so. I think what I'll also do with this, while we're on the topic of movies here, do you have anything aside from Star Wars? I know we just talked about that for a while. Any other movies that are upcoming that you're looking forward to seeing?
Oh man, Star Wars has my focus for the next several months.
Oh yeah.
I'll say this: I've been kind of getting into the MonsterVerse. So I just saw Godzilla King of Monsters.
Oh yeah.
So I enjoyed Godzilla. I enjoyed Kong Skull Island. And now this one I thought was a good way to set up the next time when we finally get to see Godzilla and King Kong meet.
Right.
But that's not exactly up and coming. That's still a few years away.
it is a few years away, and yeah, that one we won't do spoilers on too much, folks. Again, I will say it was a great movie. I wanted a little bit more action with monster fights. I'll just say that.
You wanted more.
Wanted a little bit more.
Oh
I'll be honest, but again, overall great movie. Go see it if you haven't already. But yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to, and again, it's not a spoiler to say that they're going to do Godzilla vs. Kong because that's been out for a while. They've talked about this in articles. So, again, if that's news to you, then look forward to it because it should be epic. But
and that's been the goal the whole time. It's like when they started the Marvel movies, their goal was to do Avengers.
Yes.
So it was no secret. Their goal is to do Godzilla vs. King Kong.
Which hashtag I'm for King Kong, I just got to say.
Really? You think you're for him or you think he's going to win?
No. Oh, my bad. I am all over the place. I am hashtag Godzilla. I just don't...
Yeah.
Again, I know they've talked about it in Kong Skull Island about how, he's not fully grown yet. I just don't see how a big ape is going to take down a giant lizard who has fire blasts.
Well, he's got arms.
Okay. Yeah, that's going to make all the difference. The opposable thumbs, that's how he wins.
Yeah.
He just gouges out Godzilla's eyes.
Yeah, he's got a lot of growing to do.
Yeah.
But you're right. It was all of these movies have been good movies. They're good one-time watches.
Right.
They're not the kind of thing you're going to buy and watch it 3 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you watch it just so you can get to the next one and you enjoy it in the moment.
Okay. Yeah. But again, I again, look forward to it, folks. One of the things...
What about you? What are you looking forward to?
Oh, my goodness. I'm glad you asked, Luke.
Yeah.
One of the things I am really looking forward to, it should be upcoming here shortly in the summer, but I'm looking forward to scary stories to tell in the dark. I read those books as a kid, and granted, as a kid, I did get nightmares a lot, and it probably was my own, actions doing so by reading these books, but I love them. The stories were creepy. I think the one that gave me the most fear was that spider zit thing, and I know they're going to have that in this movie. I am looking forward to seeing, I believe, Benicio del Toro directing, handling this movie and this franchise with the books and everything, because I love those books growing up as a kid, and I want that to go down.
John, get your peanut butter away from the microphone.
Dang it, John. I'm trying to... Sorry, folks. I was distracted when I was talking. I don't know if you could tell, but yeah, John was just smacking himself right in there. Again, we're not doing ASMR, John, no matter how bad you want it. Anyway. And just a brief summary, again, aside from looking forward to that, I did see Crawl this past weekend, that and Stuber as well, which were both great movies in their respective...
Which one is Crawl again?
Crawl is with the gators infesting this house that's down in Florida with this daughter's going to find her dad, and they find out that gators have gotten in through the sewer system, and they now have to survive the house while it's flooding during a hurricane.
Yeah, that one's supposed to be a spin-off of the Monsters, Inc. scene, right? Where Randall pops up in the trailer?
Yep, that's it. There's a gator in here.
Yeah, so it's like computer animated. It's just nothing but spanking gators with shovels.
And then you got those fear canisters too. That's what the gators are trying to collect. But again, that movie was pretty good. If you got some time, you can go ahead and see that this weekend. And then Stuber as well with Kumail Nanjiani and Dave Bautista, who's Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. If you don't know him, but both really funny. Movie was great.
That's technically a Disney movie, right?
Oh my goodness,
isn't it?
Folks, this is what I have to work with here. But
no, seriously, because
Stuber,
it's a Sony movie, right?
I don't think it classifies as Disney. Oh my goodness.
It's Disney by association.
Okay, so it's Disney by association. You heard it here first, folks. But again, that was a pretty good comedy as well. So if you have time, go ahead and check that one out this weekend as well. So Luke, here we are at the end of the podcast with our last discussion topic, sports.
Oh yes. As some of you may know, a always decreasing minority, it is Hall of Fame weekend.
Ayo.
And I'm a big baseball fan.
As is America.
Yes, America is a big baseball fan. And that's why we're the best in the world at it. Yeah! Woo, America. But anyway, with Hall of Fame weekend coming up, I think we need to talk about somebody who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. But this is a very controversial player. Ladies and gentlemen,
oh boy,
let's talk about Barry Bonds.
Let's talk about him.
Barry Bonds, for those of you who don't know, was a player. He started out with the Pittsburgh Pirates, but is better known for his time with the San Francisco Giants. He played an amazing career, and he is the current all-time home run leader.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds amazing, right?
Does.
The problem is...
Oh no, there's a problem?
It's almost agreed upon that he did steroids.
Oh,
there's no definitive proof yet, but most people think that he was juicing while he was, at least during the last 10 years of his career, possibly.
And we're not talking about body cleanses. We're talking about muscle enhancers.
Yeah, we're talking about the juices that you inject into your veins.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah. I don't know. Here's my problem with many people say that just because he did steroids, he doesn't deserve to be in there. I say, well, what about Mike Piazza?
Mike Piazza, okay.
Yeah, Mike Piazza is in the Hall of Fame. He did steroids. There's no doubt. And nobody seems to have a problem with him. There are several cheaters in the Hall of Fame.
Boy.
Baseball used to be a very scrappy sport. They used to cheat we're talking about guys known for going around the bases and cleating the fielders, cleating the first baseman.
Goodness. Just sliding right into them?
Yeah, they were nasty. Ty Cobb was a great baseball player, but a rascal of an individual. But he's in the Hall of Fame, and nobody would ever think of taking him out. But for some reason, it's different with Barry Bonds, and I'm not sure why. But let's take a look at his stats, because I think even with the steroid use, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame because he's doing things that no other steroid user has ever done. It was crazy. One of the top things about Barry Bonds, he was the winner of 7 Most Valuable Player awards. That's insane. 7 Most Valuable Player awards. Nobody else has ever won more than 3. So he's more than doubled that of everybody else.
Okay.
Now,
it's a pretty good stat.
In all fairness, someone like Babe Ruth played in a time, 1931 is when they came across the current form of MVP voting. So maybe it would have been different for him. But still, in the last, 1931, so in the last 90 years, nobody's won more than 3 MVP awards. Barry Bonds did 7.
Wow.
That's mind-blowing enough. Now let's look at his on-base percentage. As most of you know, baseball is a game of failure. You're going to fail most of the time you come up to the plate. A great player will only make it on base with a hit a third of the time. So that's the average. His batting average, a good batting average, is 300, and that'll get you into the Hall of Fame. One of the things about Barry Bonds, though, we're going to talk about on-base percentage now. That's how many times you can get on base total, whether it's a hit or a walk.
Seems easy enough to follow.
Yeah. In MLB history, there have only been 19 different seasons where a player had a on-base percentage of over 500, over half the time. Barry Bonds had, Barry Bonds had 4 of those seasons.
Sheesh.
Yeah, there was one season in 2004, he made it on base 61% of the time.
That's like more than half.
That's significantly more than half. He was getting on base most of the time. And that includes 232 walks against only 41 strikeouts.
Okay.
This is insane. I know I'm nerding out right now, but guys,
that's okay. You're a baseball nerd.
These are crazy numbers. And that same season, Barry Bonds hit 362, a batting average of 362. That's like miles ahead of where most people were at that season. And that's along with 45 home runs in only 373 at bats. I don't want to go into many more details because it's overwhelming to me. If you want to look at the stats, all you have to do is type in Barry Bonds amazing stats on Google, and you'll get pages of information about how good he was. If he did steroids, it was only in the last half of his career. The first half on its own, check it out, is good enough for Hall of Fame.
Right. And I will take your word for that because, again, like I said before, you are the baseball man here, and I know John. Okay, he's still sucking that peanut butter.
Darn it, John. You know you're gonna miss the entire thing. We're almost done here.
I know, really. No, unprofessional. I'm sorry, folks. But anyway, speaking of, were you finished with Barry Bonds, or are you still?
Yeah, I think I'm finished with Barry Bonds. I went on a long enough.
Hopefully, the Hall of Fame isn't though.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but speaking of Hall of Fame, I actually had a pretty fun weekend this past Saturday. I went to a meet and greet down on the field with the Angels of Anaheim, and that was actually pretty epic.
I'm actually pretty jealous about that one.
I know. I apologize. I had an extra ticket. I had me and my other friend John, who's not smacking peanut butter. It just happened to be the same name. But anyway, yeah, we, me, him, my dad, and my wife, we were actually able to go down and meet Mike Trout.
You have a wife?
I do have a wife. That wife, in fact, spoiler alert and twist, is your sister. Oh yeah.
Surprise, everybody. Dylan's my brother-in-law.
Oh no. But I don't know. I was caught up in the moment. But anyway, again, it was pretty awesome. Again, the players came around. The only one we didn't get to see was Pujols, but again, it was still awesome to go down there that day. This is after they had just got done with the what was it, the no-hit 13 runs game against the Seattle Mariners the previous Friday.
Yes.
So I saw them. Yes, it was awesome. We saw them Saturday night. Like I said, I got to meet Mike Trout. He signed my jersey. We took pictures with him, Simmons, Upton. It was awesome. So it set a really awesome experience for the game itself. And then afterward, again, obviously that same night, I believe they smashed the Mariners, 9-3 or something like that. It was a pretty big lead.
I'll take your word for it. You were closer than I was.
That's true, I was. But again, I know they walked out with a win because I left happy. But again, it was I was really happy that they won that night. If you don't already know by now, as I'm talking up the Angels, even though they're not doing so hot this season, I am an Angel fan. I root LA for the most part. So whether if the Dodgers aren't playing them, I'll root for the Dodgers. But if I had to choose between the two, I'd probably still go Angels.
And that's the same for me.
Yeah. But aside from that and the little Hall of Fame, they're getting to meet Mike Trout because we didn't know he's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame later on.
Absolutely.
He's got plenty of years left on him, and he's doing amazing as it is right now.
We'll talk about Mike Trout later, trust me.
Oh, yeah. Trout's our boy. He's nice.
Yes.
But anyway, so moving on from baseball, you know what's right around the corner, Luke?
What is it?
Football! Oh my goodness, folks! If Luke is a baseball nerd, I am a football nerd. I love the game. I love to just watch it. I love the players. It's just, oh my gosh! Every Sunday, that's where I'm at after church, of course.
And I want to point out, though I'm a strong baseball fan, I'm not far behind. Dylan is more of a football fan than I am, but trust me, I'm passionate about this thing too.
Yes, it is. It is. I think what should be America's sport, honestly. I mean, no offense to baseball. I'm sorry. I'd rather be at the stadium than watching it on TV. But football, every play is exciting. I just gotta say. But
I'll just say I love football.
That being said, I figured since preseason is right around the corner, and there's a lot of hype going into this season, as always, I think it would be fun for us to discuss the different divisions, what we feel about our team, and we'll get to that after the division discussion.
Who is our team?
Who is our team? Well, you have to listen in to find out. Yeah, that'll keep them in there. All right. But so again, I think we can discuss certain trades, players that got moved in the offseason. We can talk about, again, where we think teams are going to rank going into the season and where we think they'll end. And then also, again, how our team will do. So how do you feel about Antonio Brown going to the Raiders?
I feel bad for him. Well, he had a good team, and he kind of blew it. So I don't feel too bad for him. I don't think it's going to work with the Raiders.
You don't think it will?
I don't think so. I just don't know if Derek Carr is up for the challenge. Mm-hmm. Well, not the challenge. Up for the gift of throwing to Antonio Brown.
Okay.
He had a few good seasons and made Crabtree quite a star on Amari Cooper, but I just don't know if throwing Antonio Brown in there is going to be enough to make it worth it for the Raiders.
You don't think that'll save the team?
I don't think so.
Because again, I know that it was probably where they struggled a lot. Again, I know they did get rid of Khalil Mack last season. He went to the Bears, and obviously that was a bad call by whoever didn't want to pay him, whether it would be Gruden or the head office. But they should have paid Khalil Mack. He deserved it, every bit of it. Great player. But yeah, my thing with him is, again, I actually like Derek Carr. I don't think he's definitely not the worst quarterback in the NFL by any means. But again, I thought that when they picked up Jordy Nelson from the Packers last season,
mention him, but yeah,
I thought that there was going to be an awesome tandem. I figured they were going to be getting 2 touchdowns a game on average, just because again, I know Jordy Nelson, he was a breakout star with the Packers, and again, that was Aaron Rodgers' go-to guy for the longest time. And it always seemed to work out, but for whatever reason, I don't know. They're just like you said, there just wasn't the chemistry. Maybe Carr wasn't up to the challenge to throw to a deep route receiver or whatever it was. But again, I don't wish ill for Antonio Brown, but at the same time, I kind of do think that, like you said, I don't know if Derek Carr will be up to the challenge. Even though I like the guy, I just don't know.
I wouldn't have traded Ben Roethlisberger for Derek Carr. I'm surprised that he was so happy to end up with the Raiders, but we'll see how it goes. Sometimes the football season starts and it's just it's like a different story than last year.
Yeah, everyone's starting at 0-0, so you never know how the season's going to end up. But again, we'll be stupid enough to take guesses on what we think it.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
And this will be a reoccurring theme, especially over the next several months.
Yeah, again, heading into football season, folks, there will probably be a good number of podcasts talking about it. Or again, at least highlighting some of the games, talking about players, whatever else.
So we hope you're football fans.
Yes, we do. The other former Steeler, Le'Veon Bell, going to the Jets. Where do you think that would put them in the division now that they're going to be competing with the Dolphins and the Patriots of all people? Second place.
Let's be real now.
Okay, yeah.
Every time somebody says the Patriots are done, they're not. No. It's not going to happen until they ditch Tom Brady, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, again, I do love Le'Veon Bell. I honestly, I know sometimes player holdouts can get kind of stupid. I know Melvin Gordon. I think I'm hearing or seeing some articles about even Ezekiel Elliott with the Cowboys doing some holdouts so they get more money for their respective teams. But again, honestly, I think I was on Le'Veon Bell's side. Like, again, nothing against James Conner. Fantastic running back. He proved himself last season. Well, hopefully he doesn't hit a sophomore slump or have anything that would negatively affect his career. But again, I do think Le'Veon Bell was a staple in that the killer bees. Bell, Brown, and Ben. So
yeah,
again,
it was one of the best.
It was one of the highest scoring offenses.
Best duos, best trios.
Yeah. Again, and so I don't know how they managed to not make playoffs last season. Again, will I say it's because of Le'Veon Bell not playing? Not necessarily, but again, I do think him holding out the way he did was fine enough because, again, I do think he's a running back that was worth the money that they weren't willing to pay him. And so the Jets were, and I'm hoping he does good, but again, as far as quarterbacks go, I don't think Sam Darnold's going to pull them off to any kind of competition with the Patriots just yet.
Yeah, he showed some promise at some points, and maybe they'll be the next team to take over the division, but not while Tom Brady's with the Patriots.
No, that division's pretty locked down until Tom Brady wants to retire at 59.
Oh, is John finishing his peanut butter?
John, do you have something to say?
Darn it, John. We're right at the end of our podcast now.
Got our hopes up for nothing,
Oh,
man.
my goodness. He's down to the last spoonful, but he's not going to finish by the time we do.
He's just sucking it down right now.
You have any final remarks, Dylan?
Well, again, we still haven't even gone through the divisions yet. So let's see. Going through each NFL division, let's start with... We'll go with the AFC side. Nothing against the NFC. Again, still great teams on both. But again, going for the AFC West, we have the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Broncos. Where do you think each team will place? We don't necessarily want to get specific with records, but just where do you think who's going to get first, who's going to get second? Obviously,
I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say Chargers. Oh, okay. This is assuming we get Melvin Gordon. If we don't have Melvin Gordon, we don't have any hope. But I'm going to be optimistic and say the Chargers, the Chiefs, Broncos, and Raiders.
Right. Okay. And folks, if you haven't guessed after that little comment there, we are Charger fans. We want Melvin Gordon. We do want him to stay with the team. Please. Again, and in addition to that, again, I really wish that the Chargers would have picked up a quarterback one of these last few drafts to just train. Even again, I'm not saying Rivers is going to retire this season, but
we love Rivers, but he's old.
He is old. We needed someone to train up underneath him. But again, I would. As optimistic as I am, I'd probably agree with you on the optimism side. Pessimist side, I would say Chiefs still take the crown, but we could still take a good, solid wild card.
I think the wild card for sure.
Yeah, if they don't make
get.
Playoffs, man. I mean, they have a great defense. They just need to get that offense off the ground a little bit again. And not that it was even bad last season. We just that divisional round against the Patriots, and you're Tom Brady. Again, I know you're a Tom Brady fan, but It's just that was just ugly.
No hate mail, guys.
That was embarrassing. But again, I'm hoping, man, Gates deserves a ring, Rivers deserves a ring, and again, that franchise is long overdue for one.
Oh, definitely.
So that's how we feel about the AFC West. Now let's go to the AFC North, where we have the Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, and Browns. Up and coming Browns.
I'm going to go ahead and take a jump and put the Browns all the way at the top of that division.
All the way at the top.
At the top of their division, I think that picking up Odell Beckham is fantastic. They've got
Great
the most
receiver, great
energetic
receiver.
team right now. Odell Beckham with Baker Mayfield, and then adding. They already had Jarvis Landry, I guess.
Right, and then they have a great running back in Chubb.
Yeah.
He did fantastic.
I think their offense is set. If their defense can keep up well enough, I think they should be able to beat out the Steelers, who I think would be second, Ravens third, and Bengals fourth.
Right. Yeah, I think I'd probably be inclined to say that as well. I think it would be the Steelers and the Browns battling out for first. Ravens, again, solid defense every year. Always top 10, top 5 even. But again, I just don't know with Lamar Jackson. Again, and people keep giving the same criticism. He just tends to run around a lot. Like, he doesn't seem to be that much of a passing quarterback. But again, same thing. I hope he has a good future. Even though we're Charger fans, folks, I try to just be as fair and unbiased as possible. Again, I'll find something.
Also, fantasy football fans.
That's true.
These players need to pull it off for us.
Yes. So again, we want players to be good. Again, just not against our team. But again, I do try to look for the good in each team. And so again, I do think, but that being said, like I said, I still would lean towards Steelers and Browns battling it out, because the Browns made a lot of good moves. And again, I'm looking at that offense, I think they'll be set for this next year again, and it'll definitely help out Baker Mayfield. His numbers should be up there, again with the best of them.
Yeah, I think he's the guy that's finally ready to save the Browns.
Yep. All right. Moving on to the AFC East, where the Patriots just came off their Super Bowl championship win again. Dolphins, Bills, and Jets. And I think we already kind of discussed on this one.
Yeah, Patriots. Jets. I think I'll go with Dolphins and the Bills. I'm not entirely sure, though.
Yeah, I don't... did the Bills do anything spectacular this offseason? I don't remember seeing too much as far as moves go.
No, but they do have... It's Josh Allen.
Right.
So he'll be in his sophomore year. I don't think he has to worry about a sophomore slump, because his freshman year wasn't great.
Yeah, you can only go up from there, folks.
I wouldn't be surprised if he played better than last season. So I don't know. I still think they're going to be at the bottom.
Yeah, again, that one's pretty straightforward. Again, you can't bet against Tom Brady, even if they lose a few games here and there. For some reason, they end up on top. It just doesn't matter who it is. It's like one other team loses that one crucial game that could have put them in the top standing, and it's just like boop.
It's just so much momentum to slow down.
Yeah, again, there's just too much going around with Brady right now. And then so last for the AFC South: Texans, Colts, Titans, and Jags.
I'm gonna go with the Colts. Then I think the Texans.
Okay.
I lost my place. Who else do we have?
Titans
and Jags.
Yeah, you already said Texans and Colts. So Titans and Jags are the other two.
Oh, let's go with Jags and Titans. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, that was a tricky division. Because again, I know for as tough as the AFC West has been these last few years, and it always is, but I think this could be another tough division where I could easily see 3 teams making playoffs, with one being obviously the divisional crown winner and then 2 other wild card spots.
Right.
But again, that would be, I think the Colts, again, with a healthy Andrew Luck, they should have that division locked up and take the crown. That'd be my guess. But again, with Deshaun Watson on the Texans, they seem to have their stuff together last season as well. They got to get past the wild card. I don't know what it is. Texans are cursed or something, but they got to make a strive for greatness here.
Yeah.
And then the Jags made that offseason move to get Nick Foles from the Eagles.
Yeah. Hopefully he can pull it off this time.
Yeah. Again, I like Nick Foles as well. Obviously he did great. He won a Super Bowl against Tom Brady, who we just spoke so highly of. So again, I think that he will definitely help the team out. I don't think it'll be as bad as everyone thinks it will. Like, it just won't be a good fit, or the offensive line, whatever else. Like, again, I think he'll be able to make do with what he has. And again, that Jags defense still pretty solid. Again, I know they weren't the best last season, but again, I would definitely attribute that to a lot of the offensive turnovers and not letting their defense rest. That's what caused them to cost a lot of games later on in the stretch.
Probably so.
Yeah, and I think that completes the AFC. So quickly moving on to the NFC. Let's start with the NFC East, where you got so-called America's team, the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Redskins, and the Giants.
I'm going to go backwards here. Giants at the bottom. Redskins, I think, are next. Then I think Cowboys and Eagles at the top, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be hard
Giants, I'm pretty sure about the Giants on this one.
Giants, look, I feel for you, man. You guys, Eli was great.
It's time to move on.
He needs to move on. I don't know what head office decisions are being made, but I know they drafted a quarterback, but again, I want to say that this kid that they picked up to replace him, he's not even that good as well either. Like, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but it's just like why?
Yeah.
You didn't get a top prospect. You didn't do anything with your upper echelon pick in the draft.
Didn't they have the chance with Dwayne Haskins?
They could have had anybody really.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, again, I know Kyler Murray was first off to the Cardinals, but I mean, there was still a plethora of quarterbacks to choose from, and I don't know, man. I don't think they made good choices.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely say the same thing. Cowboys and Eagles are definitely going to be fighting it out again. Hopefully Carson Wentz will have a healthy season, so at least it's, no excuses on either side of the ball. But again, I look forward to seeing that division. Divisional rivals always put up a good game, and again, I look forward to that one.
Yeah.
NFC North, we got the Bears, the Vikings, the Packers, and the Lions.
Ooh, I'm going to put the Bears at the top.
As would I.
Then, the Packers, they're like a hit or miss team. I think the Vikings are going to be second. Packers all the way down at third. Mm-hmm. And who am I leaving out?
Lions.
The Lions at the bottom, I think.
Yeah.
That's tough too, though.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, looking back at last season, the Lions beat the Patriots. I don't know how they did. But again, it's like it seems that again with Aaron Rodgers, love the quarterback. Something's just going on with that Packers franchise right now, and it's sad because I do like seeing them win. Go Pack, go! But yeah, I don't think they're going to get it done. Again, the Vikings defense, Bears defense. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be seeing the turf a lot more than he wants to. And again, I just think that either one of those teams, respectively, will come out on top more so than the Packers themselves. So going to the NFC South, we have the Saints, Falcons, Panthers, and Bucks. Honestly, as I just read that off, I'd probably say that could be a good standing.
I think so. I don't think the Buccaneers are anywhere near ready to move to the top of the list yet. But the Saints are always ready. Yeah, let's just stick with that order. That's not bad.
Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Bucks. For the record, folks, I side with the Saints after the robbery last season with the NFC Championship. That
was unfortunate.
That was very unfortunate, and so apologies out to New Orleans. Definitely shouldn't have happened. Again, Drew Brees, former Charger fan or former Charger player, he deserved better. All right. Lastly, NFC West: Rams, Hawks, 49ers, and Cardinals.
I'm going to put the Rams at the top.
Okay.
Seahawks second. Oh, man, it's tough because they got Kyler Murray. I'm going to go with Cardinals and 49ers.
You still think Garoppolo will be at the bottom?
It's tough. I just don't know if he'll stay healthy. Like, of all the games he's played, I think he's gotten injured half the time, it seems.
That's true.
So I don't know. I think I got to put the 49ers at the bottom.
Yeah, Oh, this is tough. I think the Hawks could be able to take back the division from the Rams. I know it's kind of a long shot there, a little bit of optimism as well, but I think they could. Russell Wilson is always a star quarterback.
Absolutely.
He makes plays when there isn't one. And they just picked up that huge wide receiver in the draft. I cannot think of his name off the top of my head.
Was it Metcalf?
Yeah, DJ Metcalf. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Did you see this dude?
Yes.
He is a beast of a receiver.
He made Megatron look small.
Yeah, I'd be scared to try to tackle that dude. It's like he has almost tight end tight end size and stature with wide receiver ability. Yeah.
Agility.
It's that guy's a monster. I'm hoping he is another breakout star for the Hawks. And again, there's some tough competition there in that division.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say definitely Seahawks or Rams, and then 49ers and Cardinals battling at the bottom. Sorry. Tough division, guys. just being honest here.
Yeah.
But I think with that being said, I think this is the end of our first podcast, Luke.
That's the end of our first podcast.
Yeah. All right. Well, that being said, folks, thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the podcast, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Please enjoy the theme music.
BD.